Hey, welcome to another episode. I'm Dr. Frankensteel, and this is part 4 of my gargoyle sculpture build. As you can tell, I am going to be using a part of the filing cabinet I just tore apart to make scales for the tail. I'm going to make about 50 parts, starting at 6 inches, and then work my way down to 2.5 inches. To make it easier and the parts look more repetitive, I make a template to trace and tone down as I need to. Now there are many types of shears, but I prefer these ones because it separates the metal into 2 pieces rather than 3. Then also you can turn right or left. It tends to want to cut one way and not the other, but it also beats the other shears that only want to cut straight and cut a wide strip out. Another downside to using these shears is sometimes it flares out the edges and kind of tweaks it into certain shapes. But for what I'm doing, I'm just going to hammer it back into place or grind it down. Now as I'm installing these parts, I bend them into a curve and shape the edges to where it's nice and smooth. Also trying to maintain a nice flow where the parts are fitting onto the sculpture. I'm only giving a few tacks to each one just to get them up. After they're up, I can take a step back and make sure everything's good and then give it a nice final tack on each one. So I played around with a few different ideas for a mohawk on the sculpture, but they never really looked all that great. So I eventually just tore it off. Then I added something that looked like horns so I can take a look at that and maybe I can get it to work. Now that everything's up and looks right, I can give it a final tack to tuck the edges in. Now I'm going to add some old steel casings, starting from the bottom of the chest all the way to the end of the tail. Now all of these steel cases were either shot by me or found at the range. They are steel, and they are also Berdan prime, so it's not even worth reloading unless you're like that desperate. The stuff you do want to reload is brass, and it's also boxer primed. It has 1 hole instead of 2 inside to punch the primer out. Also, steel will rust if not painted, brass will not. Now even after adding 2 layers of detail, I'm still not going to be done. I still have to add at least 3 more layers to the tail to be closer to done. As I was layering these bullet casings on, I was also looking at the back of the forearms. They just look a little bit too busy, so I think I'm going to try something else. And this concludes part 4. I hope you liked the video. Give me a thumbs up and like and subscribe for future videos.